Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to DESI TV USA. I am Tabinda Gul. Let's take a look at the headlines. Trump threatening 50% tariff on Europe goods target Apple iPhones with 25% levy. Judge blocked Trump's move to revoke Howard authorities to enroll foreign student. United Nations chief says Israel has authorized only a teaspoon of aid for Gaza. United Nations refuses to work with US-backed Gaza Aid Foundation citing military control concern. Russia and Ukraine begin major prisoner swap, 390 released so far. Netanyahu criticizes UK, French and Canadian leaders over Gaza ceasefire calls. And 12 years of promises, still no road, the truth about Barabatal Road, Bureau Chief Peshawar Shaheen Shah report. These are headlines, lead to news detail. Now the top story is here, marking a return to Washington's stops and start trade war that has rattled global markets. President Donald Trump has issued a sharp warning to the European Union, threatening a 50% tariff on Europe imports starting from June 1st. The move, if enacted, could reignite transatlantic trade tensions and significantly impact key industries on both sides of the Atlantic. In a further escalation, Trump also took aim at tech giants Apple, warning that his administration may impose a 25% tariff on all iPhones purchased by a US consumer. The proposed levy, he claimed, is intended to encourage domestic manufacturing and reduce dependence on foreign production. The trade have sparked concern among international investors and business leaders who fear a fresh wave of economic uncertainty. Europe officials had yet to respond formally, but are expected to review retaliatory measures if the tariffs proceed as threatening. In a move offering temporary relief to thousands of international students, a U.S. federal judge has halted the Trump administration's attempt to revoke Howard University's authorities to enroll foreign students. The decision comes amid growing concern over immigration restrictions that could have forced many students to transfer or leave the country. The court's temporary block allows Howard and potentially other institutions to maintain their current enrollment of international students while the legal battle continues. The ruling is seen as a significant, if temporary, victory for academic institutions and the international student community, many of whom face uncertainty over their legal status and educational future in the United States. Now, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has sharply criticized Israel for severely limiting humanitarian aid to Gaza, stating that the Israeli government has authorized only a teaspoon of relief compared to the ocean of need. Speaking amid ongoing international calls for increased access to life-saving assistance, Guterres urged Israel to move all obstacles hindering the delivery of food, medicines and essential supplies to the Bastille's population. The remarks highlighted growing global frustration over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, while millions remain in urgent need amid escalating conflict and restricted access to aid conveys. Now, the United Nations have declined to cooperate with the newly formed US-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, expressing serious concern that the initiative places humanitarian aid under military oversight. UN officials warned that such an approach risks politicizing essential relief and turning the hunger of desperate Gazans into the bargaining chip. The decision underscored deepening tension between the United Nations and parties involved in the Gaza conflict, as international organizations continue to demand neutral and unrestricted access for delivering aid. The US has defended the foundation, calling it is a necessary channel to ensure aid reaches those in need, but critics argue it undermines the independence and effectiveness of humanitarian efforts on the ground. In a significant breakthrough, Russia and Ukraine released around 390 prisoners on Friday, as part of which is expected to become the largest prisoner swap since the war began. The exchange followed recent talks in Istanbul, where both nations agreed to a total swap of 1,000 detainees. The move marked a rare moment of cooperation amid ongoing hostilities and is seen as a humanitarian gesture aimed at building momentum for further negotiation. Officials from both sides have confirmed that more prisoners are expected to be freed in the coming days as part of agreement. The development has been cautiously welcomed by international observers as a potential opening for border dialogue. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has lashed out at the leaders of the United Kingdom, France, and Canada, accusing them of being on the wrong side of history. The statement comes just 2 days after British Prime Minister Keir Starmer reiterated calls for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, joining similar appeals from French President Emmanuel Macron and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. Netanyahu defends Israeli military operation, rejecting growing international pressure to halt the escalation and accusing Western allies of failing to support Israel's right to self-defense. The sharp rebuke signals widening diplomatic rifts as global calls intensify for an end to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. In a compelling on-ground investigation, Bureau Chief Shaheen Shah shed light on the 12 years delay in the constructions of the Barabatal Road, a vital link for thousands of residents in District Khyber and Peshawar. Despite repeated political promises and multiple high-profile inaugurations, not a single kilometer of the roads has been properly constructed. The road, envisioned as a key development artery, remains a dusty track marked by neglect and broker commitments. The report features the voices of frustrated locals, disillusioned community leaders, and concerned development experts who together paint a stark picture of administrative inactions and political apathy. Residents continue to suffer due to poor connectivity, limited access to health care and education, and economic stagnation. The in-depth reports demand accountability and call for urgent actions to bridge the gap between lofty announcement and on-ground realities.
Barabatal Road, a vital route that has remained incomplete for the past 12 years. In that time, we have seen politicians and officials come here with media, hold ribbon-cutting ceremonies and make big promises, but once the cameras leave, so do they.
Today I am currently on Barabatal Road. Barabatal Road has become the symbol of a neglect. For 12 years we have been waiting, and every time there is an election and or if we visit and also leaders come, they promise to build this road. They hold grand inauguration and poses for cameras. Then vanish like they were never ever here. Meanwhile, we are facing daily problems like road accident, delays, even medical emergencies. This road is not just a demand, it is a lifeline. We are tired of fake promises and political dramas. We want real work, real progress, no photo shoot and no speeches.
It's a lifeline for thousands of residents. Children walk on it daily to reach school. Patients wait hours for transport to hospitals. During rains, it becomes completely impassable. Community leaders and locals are demanding accountability. They ask why as their funding for inaugurations but not for actual construction. The people of Bara are tired of empty promises. They are asking for only one thing: action. The authorities must respond not with more words but with machinery on the ground. Shaheen Shah, Barabatal Road.
So viewers, thank you for watching and thank you for supporting. This is me, Tabinda, signing off. Stay tuned for more news. DESI TV USA, DTVN, and our OTT platform DTV Flex, where you can access to over 3,000 channels. So stay tuned and stay with us.
Neurological care is a pressing healthcare challenge in Pakistan. That's why Helping Hand USA is building Kind R, a world-class hospital with 130 plus clinics that is set to establish new standards for neurological care in Pakistan. As the first phase nears completion, anticipation is growing for the launch in the second half of 2025. Give zakat and sadaqah through Helping Hand USA today and join this historic endeavor to redefine future healthcare in Pakistan.